Good morning to all of you social media friends, connections who have tuned in today's episode of Flipping That House. As I was just talking to my co-host Kathleen in the green room in our little prep room, we were, comparing notes as to, hey, what'd you do this past weekend? And so once Kathleen joins into the conversation, we'll both spring on all of you. What is it that we did this past weekend? We'll ask you to compare notes with us. How's that? So with that said, let's welcome Kathleen into the conversation. But before I just add him into the conversation, let's get his fan base, people, to give him a round of applause to warm him up because, well, the weather is kind of changing, right? Because we got this daylight savings time that screwed us up. Yes, it gave us an hour back, but I don't know about you. Sometimes I'm not a big fan of it because I feel like there's not enough daylight, in the afternoon. So let's get his fan base to give him a rip roaring cheer, and then we'll bring Kathleen into the conversation. There it is, Kathleen, your fan base from your previous career world to your current fan base, your sellers, your buyers, and, well, some of your flippers on the back. So, how'd you like that?
That was great. Listen, William, we're doing fantastic with the editing, and it did look like I was back in J.P. Morgan Chase with the corporate America, where
exactly
everybody was a problem.
Exactly. Hey, the business that we're both in, our fan base can span the entire spectrum: corporate America, laborers, wealthy retirees, and also just your down to the core investors doing it for the first time or doing it again and again.
And I'm there for all of them. We are both there for all of them, either the experienced investor or the first-time home buyer or the house flipper, or the house hacker, or even the one that wants just to learn. We'll be there for them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So true. So let's lead off with, I tease the audience as to, hey, we compare notes as to what we did, what we both did this weekend. And I think we both said, why don't you lead off?
Hey, we both said that we were very, very fortunate that the market was a little slow. So we took time to spend time with the family, recharge our batteries, and Halloween, clean Halloween, and just get ready for the weekend. Honestly, William, I'm so grateful that I got a chance to spend some time with my kids, my wife, and I feel recharged, rejuvenated, and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine your kids, if they went trick-or-treating and one of you or both of you had to go with them, they certainly got charged up with the sugar, right?
We're still dealing with it. We still have plenty of sweets in the house. We still have plenty of wrappers going around, and it's still an ongoing excitement. But it's all about family time. So
true. I'm right there with you. And ditto. We did the same post Halloween, the first of 3 holidays as we finish out the year. It's always a what I call a blip, right? It happens fast, and then you gotta pull down all of the scary decorations and put it away and so forth. Surprisingly, by the way, Kathleen, some of my neighbors, I would say we're in the middle. Some of my neighbors go all out with their Halloween decorations, and I know they put in a lot of effort and time to creating that scary atmosphere. But for some of them, I'll be honest with you, Kathleen, I am amazed as to how quickly they do the takedown.
I appreciate the good decoration. I appreciate my neighbors that do that. My house is very plain, very simple. We have the pumpkins, we have some flowers,
Yeah.
and we have a spider kind of like hanging out of the outdoor window. But that's it. Very, very, very little decoration. Just because, again, I find myself being extremely busy.
Yeah.
That little time that I have, I just want to spend time with the kids, not decorating or taking things apart. So
Yeah.
maybe when I'll be older and have more time, I'll go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we both got our batteries charged up. We got gasoline in the tank. Um, why don't you lead us off with dropping what's going on in the business of real estate this time of the year, but specifically this year?
Wonderful. So we were just talking about it, and we have seen, at least on our team, and keep in mind I'm part of 20 plus agents on our team, and we're just talking with our transaction coordinator that we've seen, from eight deals a week, slowing it down to 2 to 3 a week, which is
Mm,
quite a bit of a slowdown. And we're, in again, I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but assuming that everybody's, we're what, 2 days away from election time. We are, what, 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and also everybody's everybody was expecting a bigger rate drop than it was, but after the Feds announced the rate cut, interest rates unfortunately went back up again. So
yeah,
that confused a lot of people. That a lot of buyers, I think, they're kind of like frozen or just waiting to see what's going on. So my overall opinion is, and I actually just put a client under contract, Friday for a transaction that we negotiated extremely, extremely hardcore. If you're in the market to buy, my opinion is that now it's time to get a good deal,
yeah,
because sellers, if you look on Redfin, Zillow, MLS, or anything like that, you see now properties gaining time on the market, 30, 40, 60 plus days. Those properties need to be sold, and the owners are traditionally more willing to negotiate now that we're slowly going into a very strong buyer's market
yeah,
compared to before June. It was an absolutely seller's market. Things were going on the market, multiple offers, craziness. So if you're looking to buy, I would say now is the time. There's not a lot of supply either, but you have to be flexible, right? You can't win it all. So as long as you have the location, it looks, kind of what you want, but you can get it for a great price. This might be the time to buy if you're willing to, put a little bit of work into the house to make it yours.
yeah. To put your stamp and fingerprint on it, and I fully agree with you. That announcement back in October, as far as the rate cut, it was a big head fake using basketball terminology. It was like, you know, come on. Yeah. Oh man, oh man. I agree with you. The sellers that are selling right now, they're motivated. They're selling for their reasons. And just like you, I'm seeing more and more price reductions and also open houses. So that's a sign where, hey, it's the market is shifting and tilting. But that's the reality. The market is always ebbing and flowing depending on what's happening with supply and demand.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, hey, if you're in the market, reach out. We have solutions, we have options. And then if you want to sell your house, and you're not pressed by time, I would always say wait until the second week of February to list, because that's when we're expecting a revamp or a restart of the buying season.
True, true. Let's now pivot and move the conversation to I want to ask you for your advice as if I am someone who wants to engage in my next flip. Or let's go to the other extreme someone that has talked about wanting to flip, but have yet to even pull one off. So the question I want to ask you is, Kathleen, because you've done it and you've helped clients do it already, how do you find those diamonds in the rough? Meaning, how do you find those right properties that is a good flip as opposed to a bad one? Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. So in the past, I found some really good deals on auction.com.
Mm,
Okay, if you've never played with it, it's a website that has foreclosure properties, that has different properties for sale. And the nice part is sometimes you get really good deals. So I bought two properties that I flipped from auction.com. That was a good deal. I always follow on Facebook. There's certain groups of wholesalers, and I always check out what wholesalers are putting out there. I am part of, I think, every single wholesaler like newsletter. So I get different, all the newsletters of like, hey, off market property. Here's the ARV after rehab value. Here's how much you can sell it
yeah.
for. But again, I always advise my clients and everybody else, take that information and quadruple check it, because a lot of wholesalers, I don't think that they've done many flips. So you have to be careful with the data they provide. Double check it, make sure that the data is actually accurate and not something that it's a wish value. And then lastly, even I found deals on MLS too, right? So I would say the market, once it hits the market for a flip, properties are no longer as appealing and attractive from a price standpoint, because once it hits the market, I believe they're too overpriced for a flipper. But I've had situations where I found some good deals there too. And now we are, at least my team and I, we are pressing the gas really hard on incorporating this software called Deal Machine,
Mhm.
which is a software that helps us identify off-market properties that might, that the owners might want to sell for a cash deal. That, for example, the property might be in pre-foreclosure, in short sale. They might have, outstanding tax liabilities and debt. So there's a combination of those situations, and I'm training my team that we need to come in from a I want to help, not I just want to take advantage of you, and we have all the resources. We come in and honestly give people the option. Hey, if you want to renegotiate your mortgage, or renegotiate your taxes, we help them, give them the resources. A lot of times people are just emotionally drained and they just want out, and I also give them the option to go out and sell the property for cash. So those are my strategies. That's what has worked in the past. Just like the market in general, it's very slow. So finding that really good deal has been a little bit harder and harder, and more challenging. I just made an offer to a potential seller, and waiting for the answer. So fingers crossed. So we're proactively looking for deals. We're proactively making offers. But giving that advice that you asked before, is it's a numbers game. It's the
Yeah.
numbers game. It's like going fishing. You can't throw that fishing rod in the water once and expect to catch a big fish. You just have to spend the time there, and keep trying and keep trying, keep trying. So it's a numbers game, and I'm here for the long, long, long haul.
Yeah. And using the fishing metaphor, just like you kind of leaned in and touched on, that's why you have your team, not just going to one fishing hole. You've got your team members going to multiple fishing holes, putting in different multiple fishing rods to kind of connect with the fish.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope that the sound quality, for some reason, uh, it's not the best. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you fine. Kathleen.
Okay, okay,
Okay. All right. Uh,
perfect.
let's now move the conversation to the next part of our episode today, and that is, like everything in life, um, to achieve the outcome that you want, to achieve it effectively, it requires, three things, right? The right attitude, mindset. You got to have some expectations. And then the third part is, the good old Nike slogan, which is just do it.
Yes.
So, can you speak to each one of these and maybe give a story as to what you have experienced where all three, when they come together, it becomes a beautiful thing?
Well, William, I'm a big believer in knowledge is not power. Knowledge plus massive action is power, right? So exactly what you just said it. We the internet nowadays opened up the door to knowledge, right? If you want
Mhm.
to learn how to lose weight, there's at least a couple of thousands recipes and diets out there to lose weight. If you want to gain muscle, there's at least a couple of thousands of options on how to gain muscle. If you want to anything, if you want to dot you can find it online.
Yeah,
And the knowledge is not a problem. What the problem is execution. Is said mindset, right?
yeah,
So believing in yourself, believing that you can do it. This is probably the biggest problem us as society and humans have nowadays, right? We have limiting beliefs, thinking that we are not good enough, thinking that we're not smart enough, that we don't have the right resources, that we don't, etc. And all of those, William, are just limiting beliefs. And perfect example, if you want an example, is just me. I'm an immigrant, came in this country 17 years ago with $100 in my pocket, and now I'm on a podcast talking about how to build $1 million portfolios. And I have ownership in over 40 doors, rentals, and I've done several flips. And I have a small team of real estate experts, and that is through that. You are good enough. The resources are out there, right? The only reason people fail is not because of resources, is because of lack of resourcefulness. I'm going to say this one more time. People fail because of their lack of resourcefulness, not because of the lack of resources. Because I didn't have the money. I wasn't raised by a family with millions and backed me up. I sold my first car and rode my bicycle to work to buy my first house hack. And I can tell you that the only limits or limiting things are in your mind. So the right mindset is important. And if you don't have it, if you feel like you need help, it's because you probably surround yourself with people that pull you down. So what I would say first thing is make sure that you look around yourself. Take a good audit of your friends. Look who surrounds you. You are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And if you need help, that's probably the number one thing that you have to change. Change your friends, change your surroundings, and put yourself in a group of people that will challenge you to grow and give you the resources to overcome anything that you might have to overcome. And then secondly, take massive action. The right time to do it is now, not tomorrow. Now, tomorrow never comes. So if you're watching this, remember you can do it. Everything that you need is within you, and all you have to do is just make sure that you surround yourself by the right people, and then you'll achieve your goals. Very simple.
yeah. And as part of surrounding yourself with the right people, for those of you who are watching this episode, if you are a virgin flipper, um, would you agree, Kathleen? There's no harm, there's no foul. Surrounding yourself with people who have done some flips can kind of fast track you and elevate you into that path that you want to be on, right?
Absolutely. And I need to kind of like put a little stressor on this, because I have people that DM me and say, hey, tell me everything. I said, I don't have
Yeah,
time to do that. I'm not gonna hold your hand, right? But I have people that reach out and say, how can I bring value? Hey, when is your next webinar? Hey, when is your next training. Hey, can I shadow you on your project? I promise I'll be there. I'll buy coffee. I don't need your coffee, but just not adding work to my schedule. That's how you do it. When I was learning, all I wanted to do is like bring value to other people, right? I'm still learning. I'm always learning. I surround myself, like now I'm part of this, amazing group of people that I got there by just bringing value, by bringing as much value and not being a burden, right? So make sure that when you reach out to potential mentors, don't just ask, give, right?
Yeah.
Give. So give your time. Hey, how can I help you? How
Yeah.
can I be of value? How can I? I want to be by your side so I can learn. So that's
Yeah.
probably the biggest advice. Go to networking events and ask people, what do you need help with? And they might say, I'm stressed out. I need help with managing my calendar, my schedule. If you have time, trade your time for knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, we get to the next step.
Yeah. Or a great way to contribute to, I know something you're passionate about, which is how you and I started this virtual series. Um, Someone can certainly give and help you by helping you find those diamonds in the rough, right?
Exactly.
So spot on, spot on. So as we wrap up today's episode of Flipping That House, how can you get in touch with Cataline and ask for his time to mentor you, or ask for his advice, or if you're one of those where you're like, you know what, I've got a way to give to you, Kathleen, how can you get in touch with him? Real simple, scan the QR code that you see next to him, and along the way, should you need financing for your next flip or your next real estate chapter, scan the QR code next to me as well. We'll both gladly engage you as part of your team going forward. So, Kathleen, as we wrap up today's episode, I will see you in the next one 4 weeks out. So let's have our music posse play us out and call it a day. Here we go.